Good morning, second graders. I hope you are having a fantastic morning so far and that you enjoyed our story, that the meeting with Mrs. Fields went well, and that your reading block also went well. Today we are going to continue our discussion about money. And like I said yesterday, money is so important. It's a skill that you are going to use every single day of your life to see how much money you have, how much money you need for things to survive, how much money you have to spend on wants or things that you don't necessarily need but think would be really cool to have, how you can save that money, and so on and so forth. So this is a skill that you will use every day. It's an important skill to have. So yesterday we talked about pennies, and we said that pennies are worth 1 cent. Today we're going to be talking about nickels. We will review a little bit about pennies, talk about nickels, briefly talk about dimes and quarters, and then count nickel amounts. So here we go. Nickels. I wonder, yesterday I gave you some homework and I said that lots of people collect quarters, and that when I was a little girl, the only thing that was on a quarter was an eagle. But now there's all sorts of fun coin programs, and sometimes you can find a quarter that has a state on it. Sometimes you can find one that has a national park on it. So I'm wondering if you asked a grown-up in your life yesterday if they had any quarters and if you checked out the back. If you haven't done that yet, go ask a grown-up at your house and say, hey, do you have any quarters that I could look at the backs and see how many different kinds of backs you can find? And then take a picture of it and send it to me. I'd love to see all the kinds that we have. All right. So here is the video. You can't play this video about coins on the Google slide, but in this video, but you can play it in the Google slide. So watch this video, then go back, click on the Google slide so that you can access this video. All right, yesterday we talked about a penny, and I told you that a penny is worth 1 cent or cent. When I write that, I need to write the number 1, and then I also need to remember to write the symbol for cent, which is the C with the line. I told you that the President Abraham Lincoln is on the front, 16th president, and that his memorial, the Lincoln Memorial, is on the back, and that it is the only coin that is copper in color. So it's really easy. It stands out. It's easy to remember that it's a penny. Then we counted some penny amounts. So here we go. Here's another penny amount. I want you to take a minute and figure out how many cents I have. What is the value of this picture? So take a minute, count them all. Okay, hold it in your mouth. And then on the count of 3, I want you to whisper it out to me. 8. Did you get 8? Good. All right, next one. I'm going to do the same thing. Remember, a penny is just worth 1, so they're easy to count. So count how many pennies I have. Keep it in your mouth. When I count to 3, say it. 11. Did you get 11? Good job. All right, so today we're going to talk more about a nickel. I told you yesterday that on the front of the nickel is a president named Thomas Jefferson. He was our second president. And on the back of a nickel is Monticello, which is where he used to live. And it's a big mansion that you can still visit today. Now, when you are looking at a nickel, it's really important to look on the front, because the front of the nickel and the front of a quarter, while they have different presidents, they look so similar. And so one difference, or one way to tell them apart, is a nickel doesn't have how much it's worth on the front. So if I look at this penny, or I guess the penny doesn't either, but if you don't see, you can always check the back. It says 5 cents. He also maybe I need to do a comparison to figure out how we can tell the difference. Because if I look let me do this real quick. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it right here. Just for a minute. Okay. So look how similar they look, right? This is a nickel and this is a quarter. So that's what I was saying. So on a nickel, it doesn't say 5 cents, but on a quarter, it says $quarter on the front of it. So if you weren't able to see the back, which on some of our assessments, you can't see the back, you can only see the front, that would be a way to tell them apart. Quarter says $quarter, and a nickel just has Thomas Jefferson, In God We Trust, and Liberty, and then the date would change depending on when it was made. But that's a way to tell. Quarter says $quarter, nickel doesn't say anything. And they look a little different. I don't know about you, but I like Thomas Jefferson's hair better. All right, so that's a way to tell. Here we go, back to percent. So a nickel equals 5 cents. And remember, when I'm writing it, I need to have the C with the line in it. So if you're counting them out for me and it equals 10 cents or 5 cents or 1 cent, you can't just write 1 or 5 or 10. You have to write cents. All right, next, a dime. We're not going to spend very much time on it because a dime is worth 10. Our president was Franklin Delano Roosevelt. And then on the back was the olive branch, the torch, and the oak. And then our quarter. So here's the picture again. A quarter is worth 25 cents. George Washington, our first president, is on the front. And this one has an eagle on the back. But remember, that can be different. Lots of different things can be on the back of quarters. But it does say $quarter on the front of a quarter. And that means the same thing as 25 cents. $quarter, 25 cents. A quarter. So 4 quarters are in $1. And if you think about a piece of pie, if you were to cut that pie into 4 equal pieces, so I got 1 equal piece of that pie, Lane got 1 equal piece of that pie, Connor got 1 equal piece of that pie, and Keith got 1 equal piece of that pie, that would be 4 pieces. That would be the whole pie. So 1 quarter or $quarter is 25, 50, 75, 100, or the whole dollar. We'll talk about that more if you're like, what? But there's 4 quarters in $1, and 25 cents is a quarter of a dollar, or 1/4 of it, because there's 4 pieces. All right, back to nickels. A nickel is worth 5 cents. Here's the big way to say it, 5 cents. Now we're going to count some groups of nickels. Now, when you count nickels, since it's worth 5, you count by 5s. That's why it's important to know how to count by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100, or $1. Once you get to 100 cents, that equals $1. So remember, when we see these groups of nickels on the next page, you're going to be counting by 5s. You might see 2 nickels, but you don't count 1, 2. You count 5, 10. So here we go. Oh, I gave away the answer. So here's a practice. I see 2 nickels. So the first nickel equals 5 plus another 5, 5, 10. So on this page, I have 10 cents. All right, let's practice with this one. All right, I see 4 nickels. All right, so let's count by 5s. Touch each one. All right, let's count together. 5, 10, 15, 20. So if I have 4 nickels, that equals 20 cents. All right, next one. Okay, now I see 6 nickels. So we're still going to count by 5s because a nickel is worth 5 cents. So count with me. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So I have 6 nickels, which equals 30 cents, because each nickel equals 5 or is worth 5 cents. All right. Even more. Remember, each nickel is worth 5 cents. So I'm going to count by 5s. I'm going to go up by 5 every time I count one. So let's count them together. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So my answer is 45 cents. That's how much this group of nickels is worth, 45 cents. So I would write 4, 5, and then I would write the C with the line through it, which means cents, 45 cents. All right, now I want you to take a minute. How many nickels would make $1? So I had 5, 10, 2 nickels make 10 cents. 5, 10, 15, 20. 4 nickels make 20 cents. How many nickels would equal 100 or $1? Try to figure that out on your own for a minute. You could use your fingers to keep track. You could write it down to keep track. But how many nickels would make $1? What do you think? How many nickels? I could also think, I want to know how many nickels would make 50 cents. So let's count. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. 10 nickels would make 50. So how many would make 100? 20. 20 nickels would make 100 or $1, because if I know 10 make 50, which is half of 100, then I just have to go 10 plus 10. Does that make sense? I hope. All right, so now this is where you will need to go back and definitely open up the Google slide. So this is a drag and drop. I have made it a little bit easier. I hope that I have screenshotted each one of these choices. So you should just be able to, let me X out. So remember, you can't do this when it's in present mode. You have to have it in this slideshow slide mode to be able to drag. So I made these tiles, and then instead of being able to do anything with the middle, I took a screenshot. So now this is just a whole tile. So you should be able to click and drag. So you are going to match the amount. So here's a quarter. Oops. A quarter is worth 25 cents. And then here is the word quarter. Okay, so you would do that with a dime, a penny, and a nickel. You're just dragging over to match. I would like for you to take a screenshot of this once you're done and then send it to me. Okay, so you're going to drag them all over, take a screenshot of your work, and then send it to me. All right, we'll go back in present mode. All right, then your independent practice, you're going to head over to your math packet that was sent home, and you're going to complete this page, counting nickels. Yesterday you did the penny page. Today you're just going to do the nickel page. So there are 5 problems. You're going to count up the total. So for this number 1, you would say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. You would write 2, 5, and then just like up here, it has the cents or the C with the line, the cent symbol. You're going to write that after your answer so that it shows 25 cents. All right, and then after that, after you're done with all the other things, you have your choice board. So you must do extra math. You may watch this video about coins and money, or you may go to the US Mint website and explore that. They have some videos, they have some games on that. You don't have to do either one of these choices, but you must do extra math. All right, good luck. I hope this all works for you. Give me feedback on the new interactive board. Does it work better for me to take those screenshots of the tiles so you don't have to mess with the writing in the middle? Let me know. I need your feedback. All right, good luck. Have fun.